news on Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. Polytechnic lecturer whips oversees 20 months' salaries. Special advisor cautioned federal government on pipeline surveillance in Niger Delta. Defense chief declares war against insurgency. IMF says the reforms in Nigeria can reduce debts. Nigeria, US, others partner to boost security in Gulf of Guinea. Adekunle Gold wishes daughter better lifestyle. RS Becken arrived Nigeria today for Bendel insurance clash. On Atlantic Television Network tonight. Here is our bulletin in full. Lecturer at the Captain Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, Port Harcourt, Solomon Tamunotoye, is weeping over the continuous seizure of his 20 salaries running into 20 months by the institution's management. The management of the Polytechnic had, in a statement by its registrar, Chris Woke, slammed a 3-month suspension on Tamunotoye over alleged harassment and exploitation of a 200-level female student identified as Blessing Audu. While the Polytechnic later referred to the lecturer's case to a committee for investigation and recommendations, the lecturer Tamna Toye is not particularly happy that the management had written to him months after to resume work and tender a written apology without disclosing to him or make public the committee's findings. The lecturer, who is of the Department of Public Administration, however, explained that following his refusal to write an apology later and insisting that the allegations against him were false, the management stopped payment of his salaries since then. He also said he believed in the laws of the Polytechnic, which is that the punishment for sexual harassment of a female student by any lecturer is dismissal and not an apology later, and in fact has never been issued even a letter of warning by anybody relating to the incident. British High Commission has pledged its support to free, fair and credible elections ahead of the November 11 governorship election in Bayelsa State. This was disclosed by the Political Secretary, British High Commission, Hamish Tai, during a meeting with the governorship candidates of the Labour Party, Engineer Uden Saradiri, at his residence in Yenagoa, the state capital. According to Tai, the team visited Bayelsa to meet with governorship candidates to get a better idea of the issues they are going to be contesting in the election and also get a better idea of what each governorship candidate would like to do while in office. Labour Party governorship candidate Engineer Deng Saradiri said the visit was to assess the candidates in the election and get their views with respect to security, the peaceful nature of the elections, and whether they will be committed to a peace accord, stressing that his request for statutory security personnel as a governorship candidate has been denied. Special advisor to the Delta State Government and Niger Delta Affairs, Grifston Omasuli, has described as dangerous the clamors for the federal government to withdraw the services of pipeline surveillance companies in the Niger Delta. He said that this during a recent tour of the 87-kilometer Transport Focados pipeline contracted to an indigenous firm, Ocean Marine Solutions. According to him, the effect of the vandalism of the pipelines has a terrible impact on the economy, ecosystem, health, infrastructure, and the aquatic life of the communities. Hence, withdrawing the services of surveillance firms will worsen vandalism and reduce government revenue from oil sales, adding that vandals had committed many atrocities that should not be encouraged. He explained that the pipelines had so far been kept safe with the help of the communities, the Nigerian Navy, and other regulatory agencies. The Ovio of Ughelli Kingdom, His Majesty Ajua Wilson Ojakovo Oharisi III, also commended the ongoing surveillance by NNPCL and OMS partnership and passionately appealed to the federal government to sustain the initiative and save the community from activities of vandals. A presidential delegation that recently inspected key oil facilities in the Niger Delta region revealed that Nigeria currently loses $4 million daily to crude oil thefts, vandalism of assets, among others. Now, the State Police Command has apprehended a woman for allegedly killing her husband in Musaga community, Ethiopia West local government area of the state. The spokesman of the command, DSP Bright Idafi, disclosed this to the news agency of Nigeria in Warri on Wednesday. She did not cut the testicles. She drew it, and you know that part is delicate. The man died in the process, and the suspect has been arrested. A reliable source who did not want his name mentioned said that the elder brother of the deceased reported the matter on Tuesday at the Musaga police station. The source identified the deceased as Japo Efemini, adding that he was aged 32. He added that the incident occurred on Tuesday at about 1:20 p.m. following a misunderstanding between the deceased and his wife. Reacting to the development on Society Watch, social commentator, barrister, and solicitor Osadolo Oluwamelumi advised against self-defense that a victim should report cases of domestic violence to the relevant authorities.
It is quite clear that what actually played out there is, if at all she hires me to be a lawyer, the angle will be coming from will definitely be on the part of self-defense. However, one thing that we cannot take away from the whole story is this: no matter what the misunderstanding would have broken out between the both parties, I think the law too has made ample provisions on how to go by it. No matter what, the wife could have reported the husband to the... Even, okay, assuming without conceding that you don't want to report to the police, what about the family members? There are some things that you don't need to stomach. What about the church you goes to? I think your husband too is subjected to somebody that you respect in the society. What about the traditional institutions of that place? So there are so many leeway that the wife would have explored to prevent the ugly incident that have taken. It is quite clear that
Oluwamelumi also said the best antidote to anger is silence, and as such should be applicable to circumstances that could lead to regrettable actions, as every life belongs to the state.
That depends on the nature and the conduct of parties, the nature of the case, the conduct of parties, and the surrounding circumstances. So it is these three factors that the court will look at to actually establish that, okay, what happens if a reasonable person is in that situation? What would they have done? So if what the reasonable person would have done is actually what the lady have done, the defense of self-defense will actually suffice, or any defense at all. She may raise the defense of provocation, that it was provocation that brought about action. Fine. But these three factors, court must actually consider them. While on the other part of your question is that, one thing is there is no extent, in truth be told, because when you are angry, we are, as humans, we overshoot our shots during anger, and that is why they said the best antidote for anger is that you should just keep quiet. In you keeping quiet, you will be able to have a second thought, and when you have a second thought, you will even realize that even what the husband maybe is abusing you, it may not even be enough or commensurate with the exact force that you are exerting, which brought about the death of the husband. Maybe possibly, if as at that time the husband was like, I will beat you today, she runs out of the house and quickly go to neighbor's house, possibly the husband may even be ashamed, because the story said it's not even... I definitely know that if it is an open fight, the story would have captured it. It means that it's a quarrel that broke out inside the room. So it is better for her to have even kept quiet, looking at the husband and having in mind what she wants to do, and do it. It will have been better, and it will have saved the situation. Now, she has lost her darling husband. Secondly, she will face the wrath of the law, because every life belongs to the state. So even if the family of the husband say, no, we are not going to go to court, we say they will not go to court, then we say, no, you've killed our own person. The law must take its course. That depends.
Leaders of Nimo community in Njikoka, local government area of Anambra State, have rejected women who protested against them at the state government house. The women, who were also accompanied by some youths, alleged high-handedness on the part of the leaders of the community, insisting that if the state governor, Professor Chukwu Masaludo, failed to address their grievances, they will embark on a naked protest. But the leadership of the Imo Town Development Union, the apex body of the community, in a press statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Clems Ezedinachi, described the protesters as hired elements. The community leadership added that those who went on the protest were mostly youths who are unhappy that they have been stopped from taxing developers, adding that youth restiveness is now the norm in many communities where they have become a law unto themselves and dictating to people who build houses how much to pay them. The Town Development Union also said the action is injurious to government's clarion call for people to return home and develop the state, and apologize to the state government for the continued embarrassment caused by these pernicious elements who are part of the problems being experienced in many communities. Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba has flagged off the distribution of palliatives with the immediate delivery of 52,000 bags of rice and 52,000 bags of maize to the urban and rural poor in the state. The palliatives include 200 bags of rice and 200 bags of maize to each of the 260 wards in the state. Mba, while delivering the palliatives, said the development was part of the short-term strategies to fighting poverty, saying the medium and long-term plans of his administration remained to eradicate poverty in the state, in line with his manifesto, adding that a few days into our administration, he had to contend with a number of policies initiated by the federal government, such as the removal of petrol subsidy and also unification of the foreign exchange rates, noting that government poverty brackets suddenly expanded because their purchasing power declined drastically. The governor also announced the procurement of buses to subsidize transportation and enable the people to go about their social economic activities with ease, recalling that his administration had earlier set up committees to verify and clear all arrears of pensions and gratuities owed public servants in the state, while ensuring that the elderly and most vulnerable were able to live a meaningful life in the midst of the economic hardship. Also speaking at the event, the chairman of Enugu State Chapter of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Honorable Okechukwu Ede, who is also a member of the State Palliative Committee, assured the items would trickle down to the poor immediately. Lagos State Government, through State Public Works Corporation and in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, has concluded plans to embark on palliative works on the failed sections of the Third Mainland Bridge to consecutive Sundays. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation, Engineer Abdul Lafiz Toriola, added that the work would take place on Sunday 17th and Sunday 24th September 2023 between the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. each Sunday. According to him, the proposed works will be strictly executed in two phases, with phase one focusing on only the most critical sections of the Iyana Oronshoki inward Adeniji Adele Lagos Island. Adding that the palliative works were scheduled for Sundays in order to minimize inconveniences for motorists. Consequently, the state government released travel advisory to ensure seamless movement of traffic and therefore advised motorists to apply the following alternative routes made available during the rehabilitation works, which are Scene 1, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Alakbare Ogudu axis inwards Lagos Island will be diverted towards Bagada Oshodi Expressway to link Ikorodu Road, Funsho Williams Avenue to access Eko Bridge and Lagos Island. While Scene 2, motorists from Lagos Island going through Abat Macaulay Road, Adekunle axis inwards Lagos Island via Third Mainland Bridge will be diverted towards Maritala Mohammed Way to make use of Kata Bridge to link Lagos Island, and urge motorists to be patient and observe safety measures during the palliative works on the asphalt pavement of the bridge. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has called for collaboration between states and the federal government as the country seeks way out of the current economic realities. Adeleke, who spoke in Osogbo at the closing session of the 22nd edition of the National Council on Development Planning meeting, hosted by Osun, said unity would enable the country to chart a course for sustainable and inclusive growth for Nigerians. According to him, the opportunity that being the leader of the administration that would host Such a gathering since the creation of the state has provided a good platform to further strengthen Osun's partnership with the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, which the government would leverage to engage with development partners for more benefits. Adeleke said the theme of this year's meeting is imperatives for restoring Nigeria on the path of sustainable economic growth and development couldn't be timely to navigate through the evolving economic landscape to chart a course that ensures not only growth but sustainability and inclusivity for all Nigerians. Speaking earlier, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, emphasized the importance of planning to economic prosperity and called for constitutional provision for a joint planning board between the state and local governments for effective planning, while highlighting the importance of the interface between commissioners of the states and heads of state economic planning administration and that of the national level to create a meaningful resolutions for the National Economic Council. Added that most economic issues relate to planning. He subsequently backed a resolution that commissioners of budget and planning should accompany governors to monthly National Economic Council meeting to provide opportunities for joint planning, board meetings or interactions with the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. National and State Assembly Election Petition Tribunal in Oyo State has ordered the rerun election for Saki West State constituency. INEC had earlier declared Mr. Shitu Ibrahim of the All Progressive All People's Congress as winner of the State Assembly election for the constituency held on March 18th. It declared that Ibrahim scored 13,692 votes to defeat the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Julius Okedoyin, who scored 13,422 votes. Dissatisfied with the declaration of Okedoyin and the PDP headed to the tribunal alleging overvoting irregularities and non-compliance with electoral guidelines. In a unanimous ruling delivered by its chairman, Justice Jubril Anaja, the tribunal held that the petition had merit and that the petitioners proved for their allegations beyond reasonable doubt and ruled that the cancellation of results from Ward 6, Unit 7 and Ward 11, Unit 19 of the constituency with 1,285 voter cards collected could substantially affect the outcome of the election. The tribunal noted that whereas the declared winner led the petitioner by 270 votes in Ward 6, the number of voters disenfranchised was more than 1,000, and according to the tribunal, the more than 1,000 voters disenfranchised by INEC in the affected wards might have overturned the results if they were allowed to vote. Reacting, Ibrahim's counsel, Mr. Sikuru Adewoye, said his client will file an appeal against the judgments of the tribunal. However, the petitioner's counsel, Mr. Yusuf Ogunrinde, commended the tribunal for the judgment. Ogun State's area commander of the Nigerian Customs Service says it has generated over 14.64 billion naira from excise duty between January to August 2023. This was disclosed by the outgone Customs Area Controller Amadou Shuaibu after he handed over the mantle of leadership to the newly redeployed Comptroller Adebisi Alade at the command's headquarters. The Ogun 2 command is saddled with the responsibilities of enforcing and regulating all excise industries under excise control, free trade zone, and parcel post-related activities in Ogun State, while acknowledging the resilience of the stakeholders, saying despite the economic realities, they paid their excise duties as at when due. Also speaking, the newly redeployed Comptroller Debisi Alade said he will follow the footsteps of his predecessor to take the command to greater heights, adding that he will prioritize trade facilitation and production, ease of doing business, ease of movement. Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has set aside the judgment of the National and State House of Assembly Election Tribunal in Asaba Delta State. The court affirmed the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Ngozi Okolie, as the duly elected lawmaker. In February, INEC had declared that Ngozi Okolie of Labour Party polled a total vote of 53,879 to defeat the incumbent minority leader Elumelu of the People's Democratic Party, who polled 33,456, while Tony Wake of polled 11,712 votes. However, the National Assembly Election and Petition Tribunal sitting in Asaba Delta State declared Ndudi Elumelu of the PDP as the winner of the 2023 House of Representatives election for the constituency in July 2023. In the bid to improve its economic and social development, Niger State government has assured its prospective investors that the state is safe and ready for investment as adequate security measures are in place to address any unforeseen occurrence. Governor of Niger State, Muhammad Umar Bago, said this in Abuja during a World Press Conference while announcing its first National Green Economy Summit in response to the global challenges of environmental degradation, climate change impacts. He noted that as a way of addressing security issues in the state, it is already working with the Central Bank of Nigeria and has imported grazing grasses and other materials needed to house headers for cattle ranching.
Subsequently, the summit will also emphasize the role of local communities and their indigenous knowledge systems in sustainable development while empowering them with the necessary knowledge, resources to engage in eco-friendly practices and green initiatives to achieve the UN SDGs. The target is to unlock the state's green economy potential to achieve prosperity for all its residents. By adopting this theme, the Niger State Green Economy Summit aims to inspire collaboration, knowledge sharing, and concentrate actions that will lead to a greener, more sustainable, and prosperous future for the state and its people. We're expecting over 500 participants across the world from a broad spectrum of background to discuss and help profile solutions to issues of decarbonizing energy systems, circular economy, waste management, green agriculture, food security, ecotourism, and community development.
Governor Umar Bago also said those expected at the conference slated for October cuts across 500 participants from a broad spectrum of backgrounds to discuss and help propose solutions to issues of decarbonizing energy systems, a circular economy, waste management, green agriculture, food security, ecotourism, and community development, among others.
Security wouldn't be an issue. The military, the federal government, the state government were in collaboration, and as you know very well, these are not things we should discuss in the public. But I can reassure you, Niger is safe for investment. And again, we've banned mining. The incessant, approval from the Federal Ministry of Mines or Mineral Resources, giving people cadastral licenses to come and mine without the knowledge of the local people has become a menace. Degradation of our land and also a lot of illegal activities. And you need to understand there's a symbiotic relationship between the headsmen and miners. These mines are very heavy, so they use this cattle to transship these mines from where they are mining them to the neighboring countries. And so now we've banned that and we have relative peace. We are coming hard on them. We're not negotiating further. We've negotiated enough. We are providing schools and e-learning system to these headmen in the places we are provided as grazing areas. And security wouldn't be an issue.
Niger State Governor, who further informed that the strategic location of Niger State in the north-central geopolitical zone of Nigeria, with 76,363 kilometers square, assured that his administration will ensure that women and youth get access to improve their economy. Kaduna Zone of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has secured the conviction of 5 suspects before Justice N.U. Sadiq of the Kaduna State High Court sitting in Kaduna for offenses bordering on internet fraud and obstruction. A statement issued by the EFCC disclosed that the fraudsters were arrested at different locations in Kaduna based on intelligence indicating that they defrauded unsuspecting victims of their hard-earned money and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 308 of the Kaduna State Penal Code Law of 2017 and punishable under Section 309 of the same law. They all pleaded guilty to the charges. Consequently, the prosecuting team led by M. Lawal urged the court to convict them accordingly, and defendants are to forfeit all the devices used in committing the offense to the federal government of Nigeria. Kaduna State Police Commander has paraded 13 suspects in connection to kidnapping, banditry, and other forms of crimes in the state. State Commissioner of Police Musa Garba said the police security operatives will continue to clamp down on criminal elements until the state becomes crime-free society and security challenges. Parading the 13 suspects at the State Police Command headquarters in Kaduna State, the acting police public relations officer ASP Mansur Hassan said the command recovered 3 locally made fabricated revolver, 2 motorcycles, 15 live cartridges, and 150 live ammunition of 7.62 mm, 4 locally made guns, and 3 bags of dried leaves suspected to be cannabis. Hassan added that the police will not relent but continue to clamp down on criminal elements undermining the relative peace and security enjoyed across the state.
Routine patrol along Zaria-Kano Expressway. Police patrol team attached to Makarfi Division received intelligence report from the Good Samaritan that some armed bandits had blocked the highway at Tashan Zongo Makarfi and were robbing passengers of money and valuables properties. The patrol team traced the area and engaged the bandit in fires guns battles, which as a result, 2 bandits were neutralized. Attached to Kidandan Division, Kaduna State, led an ambush and at Hanyar Makera Tumburku, Kidandan area, where 1 armed bandit were neutralized and the locally made guns, 2 live cartridges, and operational motorcycle was conducted at various suspected black spots at Ungo Sunusi Division, where 14 suspects were arrested in various offenses. He was arrested with locally made pistol hidden under his trouser. Investigation was extended to his residence at the above address, where the following exhibits were recovered: revolver, toy pistols, a sharp cutlass, screwdriver, and sometimes 4 rounds of live ammunition, and 1 locally made revolver AK-47 rifles were recovered in their possession.
That's the reason why I'm saying the truth. For Meguna Tampa justice with mercy. I don't mean to harm him anywhere. I be weather, not hungry. And now this my friend tell me to call him brother. So if I gotta make a beg him for food and the money will go hospital, we put small threat on it. Whether I think that we
no money to treat me, but my family. I get 6 children with my wife. No money to feed them, no money, they don't go to school because of another day. Take this number, call my brother. Anyhow, where he send money for me. Because me and my brother, they quarrel with me. You get work where he send me for village, make I work out. As I work and finish, I don't give an reply in time. Another person can call and give an reply. You can't invest. I thought I said if you interest them, this my brother get us in the big. No money to treat me, but my family. I get 6 children with my wife.
Safe Haven have captured the murder of one Mrs. Dorothy Jonathan in southern Kaduna area of Kaduna State. Jonathan was murdered on Friday, September 4th, 2023, in cold blood while fetching firewood at a Fana village in Zango, Kataf, local government area of the state. The army, in a statement issued, said the murderer, Lot Dauda, who confessed to have committed the crime alongside an accomplice now at large, was arrested through a manhunt launched by troops of Operation Safe Haven, who acted immediately based on credible intelligence obtained. The statement also said, in line with the Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General A.E. Abubakar's resolve to bring all perpetrators of crime to justice in southern Kaduna and environ, Following stakeholders' engagement on 10 September 2023, troops of OPSH have captured the murderer of one Mrs. Dorothy Jonathan in southern Kaduna area of Kaduna State. The murderer narrated that he approached Mrs. Dorothy while walking on a farmland and wanted to get intimate with the victim, who put up a struggle leading to her gruesome murder, adding that efforts are ongoing to arrest the other accomplice, while the arrested suspect would be charged to court once investigation is completed. Aggrieved Benue youth are not particularly happy over bad state of Boko Aliade highway bridge that is near total collapse near Boko rice mill. The youth, who trooped out in their hundreds, barricaded the road, preventing any form of vehicular movement on the busy federal road. The development, which left motorists and commuters stranded around Nomno River Rice Mill, Boko local government area LG of the state, forced motorists to seek alternative routes to link Aliade in neighboring where LGA, while the youth sang solidarity songs demanding urgent action from the federal government to fix the road, and pointed out that they had few days ago protested over the state of the road, but no one listened to their outcry. One of the protesters, who identified himself as Koko Lumve, lamented that life had become unbearable for residents of the communities on the stretch of the major link road, adding that it is either heavy-duty trucks are falling, or sometimes, in a bid to avoid very bad portions of the road, or motor owners drive through our farms, destroying their produce. Meanwhile, effort to reach the federal controller of works in charge of Benue State was unsuccessful. The Sokoto State Police Command has confirmed the killing of 4 persons and abduction of 18 others in Giyawa village, Goronyo, local government area of the state. Spokesman of the command, ASP Ahmed Rufai, who confirmed the incident, said the assailants also carted away valuables, including livestock. According to Rufai, 7 of the abducted victims later escaped and returned to the community, while many residents have fled the community. Rufai assured that operatives of the command are on the trail of the assailants, adding that efforts are being made to ensure that normalcy is restored in the community. The police maintain that only 11 persons are still being held by the bandits, while eyewitnesses in the community alleged that over 30 persons were abducted. Literary icon Professor Wole Soyinka has categorically said the Peter Obi of the Labour Party did not win the 2023 presidential election as he is claiming. According to Soyinka, Obi only came third in the election, not even second, while the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal upheld the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but his challengers have vowed to proceed to the Supreme Court. Tinubu's victory was challenged by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, who came second in the election, and third place Peter Obi of the Labour Party. While Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, is claiming to have won the polls, Soyinka said the former governor did not even finish second. The government says the country's higher education is characterized with inadequate funding, corruption, strike, brain drain, poor research, weak governance, and insecurity. The Ministry of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, has advocated the total overhauling of the higher education system to make the universities and other tertiary institutions at par with others around the globe. He made the observation in Abuja while declaring open the 8th edition of the Life Science Open Science Symposium, organized by the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities in partnership with the West and Central African Research Education Network and other partners. The minister, represented by the Director of University Education in the Ministry, Rakia Iyasu, assured that the ministry was committed to fostering the role of science through partnership from shared knowledge. He explained that it is informed President Bola Tinubu's decision to increase education budget to 25% with the right policies in place, and appealed to the Committee of the Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities to provide the committee with a quality memorandum of how the education sector can be competitive in all ramifications. The Secretary General of the committee, Professor Yakubu Ochefu, opined that there was a need to explore innovative ways on the scientific future of the country. Represented by Vice Chancellor Kaduna State University, Professor Abdullahi Musa, said that the conference was apt and would help uncover innovative ways towards research, development, as well as foster collaboration to new opportunities. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa says the military will continue to go after all adversaries of the country until they surrender or are totally eliminated. Musa gave the assurance in Jaji, Kaduna State, while addressing participants of Senior Course 46 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Speaking specifically on the issue of banditry in the Northwest, Musa said that the military would take them all out in a matter of time and assured Nigerians that the current challenges of insecurity are surmountable, while restating the forces' readiness and willingness to achieve success as a team. He also said that his leadership will be people-centered and based on synergy amongst the armed forces to address the challenges of insecurity in Nigeria, adding that in the course of addressing the challenges of insecurity in the country, the troops must protect the rights of individuals, communities, and citizens while working as a team.
Everybody has a role to play, and everybody must be seen to play that role. The tendency normally is for junior officers to always think that the other people don't matter. It doesn't start and end with you. You have more of the soldiers, ratings, and airmen than the officers. For the infantry in a platoon, you have 1 officer and 37 soldiers. They are more than you. Where you have a who takes time and looks after his men, you will see the performance will be positive. When you get a greedy commander who only thinks about himself, you will see the unit will not perform. So move from them, care for them. Once they trust that you are there for them, you will be there for you. First one happening between the armed forces, that must be eliminated totally. With other agencies, we must remember that we're all Nigerians. This is our country. Everybody has a role to play, so nobody is above the other.
In his address, the commandant of the college, Hassan Al-Haji, charged the graduating officers to contribute their expertise to the growth of the nation.
From time to time, our sovereignty has been tested. But even those who have tested our sovereignty have not proffered a better solution than the status quo. Our economy has been a source of weakness, but thankfully our Commander-in-Chief has taken the right steps to take us off the trajectory to failure. However, our military has been steadfast. It is the one element of Nigeria that has worked. Despite the setbacks, despite some of the problems we've had, our military has been there for this country. From time to time...
The government says a heavy rainfall could lead to flooding and may hit about 48 towns in 13 states beginning from September 13 to September 17, 2023. It predicted that the rise in the water levels of River Benue and River Niger could affect communities along the rivers up to Bayelsa State and advised residents in these areas to take measures. The government disclosed this in a flood prediction National Flood Early Warning Systems Central Hub of the Federal Ministry of Environment. According to the report, the 13 states to be affected include Kano, Kebbi, Katsina, Niger, Kwara, Zamfara, Bauchi, Taraba, Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, Jigawa, and Gombe, adding that the following locations and their environs are likely to witness a heavy rainfall that may lead to flooding within the period of predictions 13 to 17 September 2023. The agency, however, stated that feedback from relevant stakeholders and state government representatives would be highly appreciated. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, had earlier stated that the federal government was striving to curtail the excesses of floods caused by heavy rainfall and the recent release of water from dams and rivers, and urged Nigerians to always implement the recommendations of Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency to mitigate the effects of floods, stressing that the government was currently trying to see how to tackle its excesses. In view of the move by tertiary institutions across the country to begin a new session next week, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, parents and students are protesting as more varsities continue to hike their fees amid worsening economic hardship in the country. ASU, as well as the Association of Parents and Students, warned about the likelihood of mass dropouts of students following the hikes in fees by the universities across the country. The union was worried about the development just as apprehensive. Parents expressed concerns over the implication of the fee hike for their children and wards in public tertiary institutions. The national president of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, frowned at the fee increases, noting that the university is not a profit-making commercial center. This is coming after the management of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, announced its new school fee regime on Wednesday. The decision, according to a communique released by the University Public Relations Officer Abiodun Olaruwaju, was taken by the school senate at its emergency meeting held on Tuesday. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after the break. News on Atlantic Television Network. Here is the rest of our stories. Chairman, House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on International Boundary Disputes between Nigeria and Cameroon, Honorable Bernie Lar, has commenced the process of screening of the role of the presence of security agencies in the nation's border. Honorable Lar emphasized this at the ongoing investigative hearing on the boundary disputes between Nigeria and Cameroon in Abuja. The House Ad hoc Committee began investigation to get more insight into the matter following complaints by Nigerians living at the borders between Nigeria and Cameroon and the hardship encountered due to incessant incursions into the nation's territory by terrorists and gendarmes from neighboring Cameroon over disputed territories. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Bernie Lar, in her address, said the hearing has become important as the communities in contention are Nigerians and the people are Nigerians. She said there is need to understand the role of the paramilitary and the military agencies in ensuring the protection of Nigerian citizens in the disputed area in line with the ruling of the International Court of Justice as it concerns the disputed territories.
When we were tracing the boundary, we had to talk to take over some communities of Pelelu that depend on the Nigerian side. We have part of Guria, that are now relinquished by Cameroon because they were found to be on the Nigerian side. So if there's any Nigerian territory that is now falling on the Cameroon side, we do the same. Because prior to this demarcation exercise, people had never really contemplated where exactly they are. But now the court has said, go and put the boundary down on ground. So as we are putting it, we are discovering that this is the line. Some of these communities are wrongly placed. And the agreement is, if a settlement is on your side, even if it belongs to your side, there should be arrangement for taking over and handing over. And we have done that over some settlements that were linked to Michigan local government area of Nigeria. And Vito, some other areas like 33 villages in the Lake Chad region, because these are villages of Nigerians. So if we were to go by the argument, we'll have said no, they are Nigerians, they must be placed in Nigeria, so the boundary must be changed to enclose them in Nigeria. So that is what Nigeria is all for. So when we're addressing the boundary,
Commission Adamu Adaji in his submissions blamed the disagreements in the disputed territories, the lack of understanding of international laws by members of the affected community, but this did not sit well with the representative of the aggrieved community who see the comments and actions of the commission as unpatriotic.
The mixed commission reported that they couldn't find watershed, that the watershed is missing. I'm quoting because I was on the field with the staff, former director of National Boundary Commission. So that the watershed is missing, that they cannot demarcate Rumsike, which is given to Nigeria, that they cannot demarcate that village because watershed is missing. And honestly speaking, my background is geology. The time we stood there, I told him, I don't need instrument. Watershed is the mountain peak. See the mountain peak, but they declined. No, we cannot enter Rumsike. For what? Because it's ceded to Nigeria. I don't know, Attorney General, whether you have ever asked this question, Rumsike, why is it not given to Nigeria? Why is it not beaconed? And why do our people are protesting, whether we are ceded to Cameroon or left in Nigeria. I told you, we have one local government there. So we are not doing emotional beating here. We are neither complaining that we are having some challenges if we are located. But the issue is the territory that is given to Nigeria, and the mixed commission refused to demarcate, to give to Nigeria. You have not complained. Then now you jump and begin to take Sana to give to Cameroon. This is why the problem arises.
We were also not satisfied with the response of the Commission and the Attorney General's office as they suggested alternative means of resolving the dispute with Honorable Pamoti Lowry, committee member, and Honorable Awaji Inombe Kabiante, committee member, while thanking members of the military and the paramilitary for their role is basically to ensure that the safety of staff and air cover for staff of the Boundary Commission who are at the disputed areas to carry out laying of pillars and placement projects. Present at the hearing are the Army, Air Force, Navy, NSCDC, Nigeria Customs Service, Nigeria Immigration Service, and the Department of State Services. And here is the business news for tonight. But the government says it has issued letters of award to 42 selected firms for the 2022 Nigerian gas flare commercialization program. A statement issued in Abuja by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission said the award to 42 companies entities deemed successful in the keenly contested bid for 49 flare sites put forward during the 2022 Nigerian gas flare commercialization program auction process, and 38 of the companies or entities have been awarded 40 flare sites for the standalone single flare site development, while 4 are awarded 9 sites to be developed as clusters, adding that the reserve bidders' status had also been accorded some companies for the corresponding flare sites in case the preferred bidders fail to meet the terms and conditions stipulated. The Commission said award letters were already being transmitted to the respective successful entities through the appropriate channels, adding that the significant success recorded in the NGFCP bid process was due to a series of engagements with relevant stakeholders. It said the stakeholders include domestic investors, international development agency, oil and gas producers, technology providers, and financial institutions, noting that in response to the request for qualification issued in the fourth quarter of last year, 300 companies and entities indicated interest in either revalidating their pre-qualification status as existing participants or submitting statements of qualification as new participants. The upstream regulator said as a global network of professional firms, it had been approved to partner with the Commission in the implementation of the award to ensure the successful outcome of the gas flare-out commercialization process. The Commission congratulated the successful bidders and enjoined them to follow through the final stages of the program towards becoming permit holders and executors of viable projects that would harness flare gas for value creation. International Monetary Fund says market reforms in developing countries, including Nigeria, can stabilize debt and increase economic growth. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu implemented two major reforms, such as the removal of petrol subsidy and unification of Naira exchange rates in the second quarter of this year to improve the country's struggling economic growth, adding that countries that enacted reforms saw their debt to GDP ratios fall by 3 percentage points on average over a multi-year period, while the major changes in regulations were associated with a 3 percentage point reduction in the ratio of debt to gross domestic product. IMF said the decline in a key measure of debt burdens takes place not only by increasing GDP, but also by improving public finances through higher tax revenues and lower borrowing costs, stressing that the international organization improved market functioning not only lowers the debt ratio through the denominator effect, but also strengthens fiscal outcomes and helps reduce new borrowing. Authors of the report said gains from reforms materialize through higher tax revenues and narrower sovereign debt that spreads, while the higher tax revenues will likely reflect that the effect of improving economic activity makes up for lost revenues directly linked to reforms, and the lower borrowings cost instead of reflect the improvement in investors' confidence after the reforms. They added that debt reduction associated with reforms is larger when governments are better at collecting taxes, having higher initial debts, and implement reforms during an economic expansion, while reforms help reduce debt on average. That's not always true in every circumstance. IMF said historically, developing countries have used some of the fiscal gains from reforms to fund other policy initiatives, while countries' initial debt burdens and potential inequality effects are important factors in deciding how fiscal gains from reforms can be directed toward debt reduction, growth-friendly spending, or income inequality concerns. Telecommunication and Technology Sustainability Working Group has launched the Innovation Makers Challenge, a pivotal initiative aimed at fostering innovation among young talent in Nigeria's technology and telecommunication sectors. The IMC features a talent discovery competition, an intensive boot camp, and culminates in a high-profile exhibition and conference to be held in Victoria Island, Lagos. Under the arrangement, young innovators aged between 18 to 35 are privileged to participate in Innovators Challenge by showcasing their original technology-driven ideas and products for Nigerians to participate in the challenge and supercharge their journey in technology innovation. The finalists will also enjoy the privilege of showcasing their innovations at the grand event, pitch their innovations to venture capitalists and investors, and network with professionals and industry experts from across the country and abroad. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu says African Development Bank has endorsed $250 million into the Nigerian electrification project. The NEP seeks to bridge the energy access deficit by providing electricity to household MSMEs and educational and healthcare facilities in unserved and underserved rural communities. Adelabu shared this update on X, underscoring the truthful outcome of a productive bilateral cooperation meeting held during the ongoing Just Energy Transition and Agricultural Transformation for Africa conference in Busan, South Korea. AFDB President Dr. Akinwumi Adesina brought together key stakeholders to discuss pivotal energy and agricultural transformations for the African continent, and also confirmed the readiness to disburse a previously approved $250 million fund for the Nigerian electrification projects under the Rural Electrification Agency, and extended support to northern Nigerian states through the $20 billion 10,000 megawatts Northern Africa Desert to Power Fund, while over 600,000 people, approximately 100,000 households, 70,000 MSMEs, and 8 universities will receive new or improved access to electricity services as a result of project, and the NEP project is expected to bridge new or enhanced access to electricity services to over 600,000 people, including approximately 100,000 households, 70,000 MSMEs, and 8 universities. It will also create an enabling environment for private sector involvement with a particular focus on advancing opportunities for women through various integrated activities such as the collection of sex disaggregated data and gender-targeted marketing. You're still watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. United Nations says the two rival governments in Libya are coordinating relief efforts for flood victims. More than 5,300 people died after two dam bursts that brought devastating floods to the eastern city of Derna. Derna's mayor, Abdul Menam Al-Gaiti, said that the number of death toll could reach as high as 20,000 based on the extent of the area of the city that was destroyed. Another official from Tobruk-based eastern government also said the sea was constantly dumping dozens of bodies, while Mr. Gaitihi said the estimated number of deaths in the city could reach between 18,000 to 20,000 based on the number of buildings in the districts destroyed by the flood. Following the move to enhance security in the Gulf of Guinea, the federal government, the United States, and France will address security challenges in the region during the 2023 Lagos International Maritime Week. A statement by the organizers of the event, Zoe Maritime Resources Limited, said that part of the things to be discussed include ports development, transportation law, and arbitration training and education, as well as environment and women in maritime. Zoe Maritime Resources said that LIM Week, the event that includes the 18th International Maritime Business to Business Conference and will take place on September 19, 2023. The conference theme is MAPO at 50, pollution from ships, Africa's commitment to clean oceans, seas, inland waters, and the marine environment. It added that the program would give stakeholders and experts the opportunity to address maritime challenges in Africa. According to Zoe Maritime Resources Limited, the conference will have in attendance the Minister of Marine and the Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, Jose Abeso, and the immediate past Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission based in Angola, Adenike Ukonga. The convener of the program, Orisima Tosin Edodo Emore, said after 50 years of its legislative existence, it was essential to see how Nigeria and Africa have followed through with this global commitment to keeping the marine environment clean and safe from pollution from ships. Edodo Emore said other issues to address include disposal of wastewater and its effects on the logistics value chain, insurance of oil tankers, and risk management strategies for preventing pollution and tax responsibilities of international shipping companies. Co-founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, has encouraged government and the private sector to work on regulating the use of artificial intelligence in order to achieve its full potential. Gates spoke after attending a United States Senate Artificial Intelligence Inside Forum in the Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., United States. He labeled artificial intelligence as a limitless technology, adding that to reach its full potential, regulation is imperative to maximize its benefits and reduce its risk, adding that the potential of artificial intelligence is limitless but will only be realized as potential if government, the private sector, and civil society work together to maximize the technology's benefits and minimize its risk. The co-chair of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stated that the technological innovations are controlled whenever they pose threats. And this is not the first time a major innovation has introduced new threats that had to be controlled. He also urged private sector artificial intelligence companies to pursue their work safely and responsibly, while some of the regulations suggested by Gates include protecting people's privacy, making sure their artificial intelligence models reflect basic human values, minimizing bias, and spreading the benefits to as many people as possible, and preventing the technology from being used by criminals or terrorists. The chairman of the United Kingdom's Advanced Research and Innovation Agency, Matt Clifford, said there is an enormous upside from this technology, but it is essential that the world invest heavily and urgently in artificial intelligence, safety, and control. And here is entertainment news for tonight. Nigerian singer Adekunle Almoruf Kosoko, popularly known as Adekunle Gold, has wished his daughter Adejare a better lifestyle while growing up. Eji Baby, as he is fondly called, said he is releasing multiple singles and projects to make enough money to cater for his child's education and other needs. Adekunle Gold said being a father is a huge responsibility, and knowing that he has a huge responsibility to raise a queen. He said being married to someone who is also an artist who has made his life easier because he doesn't have to do a lot of explanations about his busy schedule. This is coming after Adekunle Gold and singer Simi got married in January 2019 after dating for 5 years. The couple welcomed their daughter Adejare, aka Dej, in May 2020. Nigerian disc jockey Ayorinde Kehinde Okiki, or popularly known as DJ K-Wise, has finally opened up on his recent mysterious post that got his fans worried. This is coming after on September 13, 2023, the record producer posted a cryptic message on his Instagram page indicating that he was going to end it all. His post sparked worries as fans flooded the comment section, advising him against suicide, while others beckoned on his family and friends to check on him. However, DJ KY, in a video message posted on his Instagram page on Wednesday night, explained that his earlier post was not suicidal, as presumed by concerned fans, and wanted to clear the air on some malicious allegations leveled against him by a blog called Gist Lover. The general misrepresentation of my recent post as a sign of suicidal thoughts highlights the urgency of addressing these issues, and it's crucial for the public to dissociate my name from the misconception initially perpetuated by a malicious blog called Gist Lover. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Ayodeji Ibrahim Balogun, also known as Wizkid, has made his first public appearance since the demise of his mother, Mrs. Jane Dolapo Balogun. This is coming after Mrs. Balogun died last month in Lagos State, and since the incident, Wizkid had remained out of the public spotlight and off social media. However, Starboy's boss has now made his first public appearance after almost 1 month in hibernation, mourning the death of his mom. According to photos circulated on the internet, Wizkid was pictured at the V&A in London, United Kingdom, attending the private view of Gabrielle Chanel Fashion Manifesto on Wednesday, September 13, 2023. And here is the ATN Sports News for tonight. Former champions RS Berkane will arrive Nigeria today ahead of the CAF Confederation Cup second preliminary round clash against the Bendel Insurance. The Moroccan outfit departed the Wajda Angad Airport on Thursday morning, and players and their officials will connect another flight to Benin from the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. RS Berkane announced their travel arrangements on their verified social media handle, while the match is built to kickstart at 4 p.m. Nigerian time at the Samuel Obamudia Stadium on Saturday. Manchester United defender Harry Maguire has opened up on why he did not leave the club this summer. Maguire was heavily tipped to move on after he was stripped of the captaincy by manager Erik ten Hag. He has played only 23 minutes so far this season and had offers to leave Old Trafford, and no deal was reached, and Maguire remained with United despite slipping down the pecking order. According to him, they have not come to an agreement, and they were happy for him to stay, and he was happy to fight for his place. And that's the global news for tonight. But before we go, here is another look at the major stories. Polytechnic lecturer whips overseas 20-month salaries. Special advisor cautioned federal government on pipeline surveillance in Niger Delta. Defense chief declares war against insurgency. IMF says reforms in Nigeria can reduce debts. Nigeria, US, others partner to boost security in Gulf of Guinea. Adekunle Gold wishes that a better lifestyle. RS Bakken arrived Nigeria today for Bendel Insurance Clash. I'm Vivian Douglas. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on the social media pages. On X, we're Atlantic TV Net. On Facebook and YouTube, we're Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, we're Atlantic TV Network 1. Remember that peace and unity are the pathway to progress. Good night.